Collectively, just as a generation, our dopamine receptors are cooked. We spend so much time getting cheap dopamine from things that take hardly any effort, like scrolling on your phone, watching Netflix, eating junk food, and we end up not receiving enjoyment or pleasure from things that take longer to do, like cooking a full meal, watching long-form content. So this is where the dopamine menu comes in. What started as a cute trend on social media is actually a really cute way to rewire your brain's reward system. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. And in true dopamine cleanse fashion, we are ditching screens and picking up our journals. The temptation that I had to pull up Notion and fill out my menu on Notion was very strong because I put everything in Notion. But I figured that kind of defeats the entire purpose of the trend. So put away your screen, except for the one that you're watching this video on. Get out your markers and pens. I even have crayons out. And let's do something really cute.
So if you're looking for any inspiration as to what activities to put on your dopamine menu, I suggest going on Pinterest. You can type in dopamine menu ideas or inspiration. You can also go on TikTok or Instagram and find different activities to add to your menu. So our dopamine menu is going to be broken down into 5 sections: starters, entrees, sides, dessert, and specials. And basically how you're going to choose from your menu is going to depend on 2 things. 1, the level of energy or motivation that you're feeling, which is kind of like, you know, the level of hunger that you have if we were treating this like a real menu. And 2, it's going to depend on how much time you have, which is like kind of like the pricing side of our menu. So those starters are going to be those dopamine hits we go for when we're in a pinch. Not grabbing our phone, but instead we're going to light a candle, maybe take a super quick cold shower to kind of get blood flowing. Next we have our entrees. These are going to be the things that are going to take a little bit more time and effort and energy, but you are going to get probably a bigger dopamine hit from them because you put more time into it. This is where you can choose an art project that you're working on or actual regular work, because we do get dopamine from the work that we accomplish every day. It feels good to get things done. So if you have a big work task or a project that you need to work on, you can kind of use that as an entree. Next, we're going to write out our sides. I think this might be my favorite category. I think it's so cute. It's just kind of something that you use to add to the vibe. Opening a window, opening the curtains, letting the light in, letting the fresh air in, lighting a little candle, getting a little bev. I'm such a bev girl personally, so I'm going to have my matcha or my sparkling water or my coffee, but that's going to serve as a side to something else. I'm usually not only doing this thing as an activity. It's kind of just a little side to whatever the main activity you're doing is. So feel free to tack on a side to an entree if you want. You can kind of get really fun and actually make a real meal out of these things. Now dessert is going to be the little sweet treat of it all. For my girlies who love a sweet treat after doing literally anything, this is where, you know, it's fine to pull out your phone, scroll on social media for a little bit. Another sweet treat might actually be going to get a sweet treat or hanging out with a friend. I kind of wish I put shopping under the specials section because I don't think that shopping is something I'm gonna do like on a regular basis. I don't shop that frequently, but it is what it is. This is just kind of where our rewards go. They're like these little things that we can kind of tack on after we have done a bigger task. And finally, we have our specials. These are kind of like the things that you're going to do on a more irregular basis. They're kind of a bigger deal. Planning and taking a trip, doing your everything shower, going out to see a movie or watch a play. These are just kind of those bigger things that you might not do super often. And then feel free to decorate your dopamine menu, make it cute. Get on Pinterest again and look up design inspiration to decorate the pages with. I kind of went for a little bit of a jungle theme here. I wanted to go restaurant-y, but I didn't have like any inspiration that I liked, so I went with the inspiration that I already had. And I love plants, so I put plants all over this page, got out my crayons, colored it green, and I actually really like how it turned out. My focus for this is really not to be too perfectionistic. I tend to like want things to look perfect. I actually tried to do one spread before this. I was using a ruler. I was trying to keep a lot of straight edges, and I actually found myself to be pretty bored with that. So I turned a different page, and you guys are seeing the second version of my dopamine menu. But yeah, I think that anytime we're like drawing or writing things, it's a great opportunity to kind of let go of perfection and kind of practice being okay with mistakes and messiness. So that's kind of what I'm embracing here.
Just like that, we have a super cute dopamine menu. I might leave this in the journal for a little bit, but honestly, I'm thinking about tearing out the pages and putting it up in my room so that when I'm just like walking throughout my day, I can look at this and choose something off the menu if I want. We've got our starters, our entrees, our sides, our dessert, and our specials. So next time you sit down to do something productive, you can take a look at the menu and be like, okay, what's my entree gonna be? This is your big task that you're going to take care of. You can say, okay, what's my starter going to be? Let me light a candle, let me get cute, because I'm always in the mood to do work when I'm cute. For me, putting on my headphones immediately gets me in the zone to get something done, and it gives me just like a quick rush of dopamine too. So you can kind of use this as a productivity menu if you want, but even if you're not trying to be productive and you just want to do something fun, this is good for that too. But you can choose a starter and use that to kind of get the momentum going for you to get something done. Choose your entree. That's going to be your big task for the day. You pick a side, you get a little sparkling water. I was sipping on a sparkling water while we were doing this. And then you reward yourself afterwards with a little sweet treat. This was really fun. I'm actually really excited about this. I think tomorrow when I sit down to do work, I'm gonna take a look at this first and see how I want to structure like my productive time. But over time, I want to add more like fun things to this list. Anyways, thank you so much for making a dopamine menu with me. I hope that this kind of gives you some inspiration and some ways to get away from your screen, because if we are not proactive about this, our brains are going to be mush by the time we are like 50. And I'm not trying to have that happen. I'm not trying to have that happen for you either. So let's take care of our minds so that we can actually get enjoyment out of the things that we do every day. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.